Hello, everyone. Welcome in. In this video, we will be discussing the mysterious case of the missing lawsuit in the Alexee Trevizo case. A quick recap. Alexee Trevizo was 19 years old at the time of the alleged incident in which she is being charged for first-degree murder and tampering with evidence for allegedly placing a live-born baby into a trash bag and concealing it under a fresh trash can liner at Artesia General Hospital on January 27, 2023. Alexee spent around 18 minutes in the bathroom and did not ask anyone for help. Allegedly, when the baby was found, it was pronounced dead by hospital staff and the police were called. The investigation seemingly took a pause as it took about 60 days for the autopsy to come back as homicide, and it took 103 days for Alexee to be arrested. I'm making this video based off of a witness statements, namely the mother of the defendant in this case, Rosa Rodriguez, who stated on body cam.
You bet when this is over, I'm coming for the police department and the hospital. I am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, obviously, she does not have any grounds to go after the police, seeing as they have not violated any of Alexee's rights currently, and they have this little thing called immunity. But a wrongful death lawsuit has been filed against Artesia General Hospital and the doctor for the death of the baby in this case. So that brings us here. According to the Toxicology, there was a massive amount of phentermine in baby Alexee's system. It was obviously way higher than the amount of morphine found in baby Alexee's system, and as of note, there was also caffeine, but it was only presumed positive, so we do not know how much caffeine was in baby Alexee's system, but there was caffeine as well. But for this situation, we're focusing on the phentermine. Alexee lives in the United States, where phentermine is a prescription drug, meaning you have to meet certain medical qualifications to even get this medication. Namely, you have to be obese, and things like diet and exercise and other typical means of attempting to lose weight have not worked for you. Both of those have to be true in order for you to be prescribed phentermine. Now that we know what regulators think the typical user of phentermine should qualify as, according to all the stats that we know about Alexee, she was a generally small person in all regards. The only thing that seemed to grow on Alexee was her stomach, allegedly, at least according to the photos and videos that we have all seen of her cheerleading. This begs the question, what doctor gave Alexee these prescription medications? These medications are, number one, not allowed for pregnant women, and number two, have to be prescribed. Yes, phentermine is not supposed to be prescribed to pregnant women. I've done a lot of research online and attempted to find ways of obtaining phentermine without a doctor's appointment. It appears to be impossible. Even if you do attempt to get an online prescription, it still requires an online doctor appointment. Now, viewers of this channel who are from New Mexico have stated that those who are comfortable doing so will drive across the border into Mexico for multiple things like cheaper dental care and prescription drugs that might be more affordable than they are here in America. As of note, because it's a legal channel, not legal advice, but if you are getting a prescription medication from outside the country that does require you to have a prescription in the United States, you can likely still be found guilty of possession of narcotics if you do not have a prescription to present. So I bring this up because those who are closest to the situation from the same state have said that that is a common occurrence for those who are comfortable to go across the border and get something cheaper. As an American, I can completely understand that because why wouldn't you? Stuff is extremely expensive in America when it comes to healthcare and medication. Obviously, I don't find this to be a problem unless people are getting prescription drugs and using them nefariously back in the United States, which would obviously probably lead to prosecution if they were caught. But I say all of this to get the point across that you can go and get medications that you would otherwise need a prescription for in Mexico and bring them back. So it is possible that there is no prescription at all due to this case having been in New Mexico itself, and that being a possibility, it would probably be less likely to think something like that would be the case for the phentermine if this person lived in the Northeast or, in the middle of the country and would have had to drive, 17, 18 hours to Mexico or however long it would take, right? So for this thought experiment, we have to leave it open since it is a possibility according to the people who live in New Mexico. The other possibility is Alexee did get a prescription for this phentermine, which is why I'm wondering, where is this missing lawsuit? Because if Alexee legally obtained this phentermine and no one checked to see if she was pregnant, that could possibly be medical negligence. Now, wouldn't they want to be a named party on this wrongful death suit since a doctor would have prescribed a pregnant Alexee phentermine, which is contraindicated for pregnant women, meaning it is not supposed to be prescribed to pregnant women? So I'm just wondering where this lawsuit is for the phentermine that was found in baby Alexee's system, seeing as in America, The doctor would be liable for it getting there if they're the ones who gave it to Alexee. So where's that lawsuit? So let's just walk down this road really quick. We're currently waiting on a decision about all this evidence by the Supreme Court in New Mexico. I've been preparing my content currently now to show everyone just how much we still have as far as evidence should something go extremely awry with the Supreme Court's decision. Now, this phentermine is one of the big ones. The baby's toxicology will not be deemed inadmissible. The defense in this case has already made sure that they can depose the toxicologist in Alexee's case. There is no motion to suppress this evidence. This evidence is coming in. What the defense will try and do is discount the toxicology report in any way they can and try to find down in the findings. But I am extremely confident that the toxicology report will be evidence. Now, the toxicology results are important because it shows us the phentermine. The phentermine is important because the state can only imply that Alexee had intent to murder, which is necessary for the murder one charge. The phentermine is the biggest indicator of intent that we have. Even though it is not direct intent, it doesn't say murder in and of itself. The jury will be allowed to imply intent from the surrounding actions of the defendant, and one of those actions was obviously consuming a weight loss medication. The idea that Alexee allegedly may have tried to hide weight gain or stop weight gain and then allegedly hid a baby is what will be connected. It might bridge the gap of she was trying to hide. I find it interesting to think where this phentermine may have come from because you think the defense would already be doing work as to figure out how to blame part of this on the doctor who gave Alexee this phentermine, because the phentermine will be used as implied intent in Alexee's murder charge. So it would behoove the defense to find the doctor who gave Alexee this phentermine and depose them and say, why didn't you give her a pregnancy test? Why didn't you thoroughly check this young woman for pregnancy before giving her a prescription medication and then possibly even sue this doctor? It would be one way to help discount the possible implied intent that Alexee had if they continue the trope of everyone around Alexee failed Alexee that they seem to want to go with. So that is why I'm extremely curious, strategy-wise, where's this doctor? Did a physician licensed in the United States prescribe this to her without a pregnancy test? If a physician didn't thoroughly check a woman of childbearing age for pregnancy before prescribing a medication contraindicated for pregnancy, that could possibly be malpractice. So where's the lawsuit against the doctor who prescribed Alexee phentermine? Or was she not prescribed phentermine? If she doesn't have a prescription, then how do we think she got it? Now, I believe that we'll be able to glean some information about the phentermine through Rosa as a witness. I'm not saying that Rosa got the phentermine for Alexee or anything like that, but you would think that Rosa would be privy to her daughter taking a weight loss supplement. Being asked this question while on the stand puts Rosa in a tricky situation because she could either, number one, acknowledge that she knew Alexee was gaining weight and was on weight loss medication, which could possibly call into question if Alexee was trying to deceive people about being pregnant. Or number two, Rosa states that she doesn't know Alexee was taking phentermine, which could also call into question Alexee's possible deception if she didn't tell her mother that she was taking phentermine. Rosa and Alexee seem close enough that they talk about her menstrual periods and Rosa buys the necessary items for Alexee every month, so it would seem odd that they communicate so often and so frequently about the medical needs in Alexee's life, but Alexee didn't tell Rosa that she was taking weight loss medication, should that be the answer Rosa gives. That could be seen as deception as well. And just to add, since Rosa is the one who said that she buys everything for Alexee every month, and Alexee didn't appear to have a source of income as far as I could tell, it would be interesting to find out how Alexee afforded to get this phentermine on her own as well. We might be able to figure that out through Rosa to find out what sources of income Alexee may have had to possibly get a medication like phentermine. So I thought this would be fitting as the kickoff to the Supreme Court series that I'm kind of calling it in my head, and talk about some of the evidence that I know we're going to have no matter what the Supreme Court says, and we're going to just go piece by piece as to how important that evidence is. Sometimes people get lost in the sauce when they're seeing people say things like trial is canceled and there's no case and things like that, that we still have an overwhelming amount of evidence and the state is still very likely to move forward no matter what happens at the Supreme Court. It probably sounds, when you say you have the hallway video and certain certain testimony about how the baby was found and the autopsy and toxicology, well, we also have witnesses like Alexee's boyfriend, Rosa Rodriguez, the people that we can pull information out of about the whole time leading up to Alexee getting to the hospital. We don't need the hour or whatever that she was at the hospital. We don't need that she said that she was on her period or that she was possibly a virgin or whatever alleged statement she may have made to the hospital staff, because we can pry this out of the witnesses. And if it's my guess, the witnesses who have allegiance to Alexee will not be extremely comfortable giving up details that could possibly implicate their loved one. So their whole vibe is going to be felt in the courtroom. So this is just the kind of beginning of me going through evidence bit by bit, important piece by important piece, to show everyone just what we still have in this case, and that this case is still going to go to trial, and that no matter what the Supreme Court does, there is still a lot of evidence for the state to use. And it's my belief they're going to use it wisely. They know who they're going up against when it comes to the defense attorney. They have to. He's a legend. So I would assume they're going to try and bring their game when it comes to this case. And you can tell they are at least trying to, since they have appealed to the Supreme Court. They are not afraid of a fight and trial, as Gary has put it. That's going to be a battle of our experts. He's already prepared them that this is going to be a fight. So I would venture to say they're probably in go mode and trying to make sure that they have a solid case here no matter what. So we're going to keep going bit by bit through the information that we do have and pointing out why it is so vital and important in this case. And it's all the stuff we know that we do have. So no surprises here when it comes to the Supreme Court's decision. We can only have good news if it comes to them giving evidence back, or we would remain neutral, right? So we're preparing, we're getting ready, because as soon as we get these decisions back, I have a feeling very early next year, hopefully within the first 3 months, trial will happen. But maybe that's just my guess. So it doesn't seem like it's that close, but it will be pretty quick as soon as the Supreme Court makes their decision. If the Supreme Court gave all the evidence back and we didn't go to trial pretty quickly, I would assume it would be the defense trying to stall at that point. But again, that would just be my guess. So let me know down below, how do you think she got this Phentermine? Do you think it was a prescription? Do you think it was someone else who gave it to her? Do you think someone else knew that she was on the Phentermine? Let me know your thoughts down below, because this is one of the extremely interesting pieces of information in this case, especially when you add it up with the lawsuit against the hospital. Where's the lawsuit against the doctor who gave her the Phentermine? Because someone had to give it to her. Why aren't we suing them? Suspicious. Thank you so much if you've made it this far in this video. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please leave them down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And I do genuinely enjoy the conversation. If you're interested in following cases like the Alexee Trevizo case to trial, please subscribe, as I'll be covering it all along the way with a legal focus. It's your girl Friday. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.